So imagine feeling perfectly fine and you walk into your doctor's office and the next thing they tell you is that you got high cholesterol. That's a very devastating news. Imagine feeling confused and asking yourself, like, what does this mean? Is my life over? Am I going to have to take medication for the rest of my life? Am I going to get a stroke? What's going to happen to my children? It can be very confusing, but don't panic. Don't feel powerless. And that's why I'm here. My name is Dr. Izzy. I'm a GP, I'm a lifestyle medicine physician, and one of my biggest passions is to help you understand what happens inside your body so that you can be powerful, you can take full charge of your health, and you can live your best life. So today, we're going to be talking about all things cholesterol. So if you want to understand what cholesterol is, why it matters, how you can manage it, and how you can stay on top of it so that you can live a healthy life. Please join me and let's dive in together. So why do cholesterol levels get high? So this isn't about cholesterol levels, it's about how our daily choices shape our health and our future. So many people don't realize that they are slowly creating their own health crisis until it's too late. The things they eat, how they move, what they smoke, what they drink. My job here today is not just to inform you, but it's to wake you up with love, with wisdom, and with hope. That this will be a generational change. That what we learn today will affect everything that concerns you. So imagine walking through an orchard. You see a tree full of strong, healthy branches, bearing beautiful fruit. You don't have to ask if the tree is well cared for, do you? You can tell by what it produces that that tree is doing very well. But when you see another tree that its leaves are dry, they are brown and they are struggling, the branches are weak, that fruit is obviously struggling. It might be bitter, there might not be enough, it might even be rotten. You don't have to ask what's wrong because it's obvious that there is something going on with that tree. The same is true for our health. So the food we eat is one of the reasons why we get high cholesterol. So imagine a man who eats only rich foods and neglects the grains of the earth. That man is like a house filled with silver, but with no foundation. Your liver naturally produces cholesterol, like we already talked about, because your body needs it for cell repair. Your body needs it to produce hormones, and your body needs it for digestion. But when we eat too many unhealthy fats, like fried food, which are chips, our fried plantain, processed meats, excess sugar is in everything. Your liver produces even more low-density lipoprotein. You remember, the bad cholesterol, the kind that blocks our arteries, the kind that causes a traffic jam. And over time, that excess low-density lipoprotein, it sticks to the arteries, the walls of our arteries, making it harder for the blood to flow. So let's use this analogy. Imagine a drain in your kitchen sink. If you keep pouring in grease and fat, you know those oils that you should throw away, that you keep putting in your sink, what happens? It slowly coats the pipes every day. At first, the water is still flowing, but if you keep pouring those oils, over time, it starts to clog up. The drain doesn't drain anymore, and that's exactly what happens into our inner arteries. So let me ask you this question. What is your body made of? Is it the nutrients that it needs, that you feed it every day? Or is it the junk that it struggles to survive on, that you feed it every day? Question, you pick. The second thing that causes high cholesterol is our lack of movement. You know, our body was made to move. The body was made to move, but we are becoming stagnant in the way we live our lives. A stagnant body is like a lamp hidden under a basket. And we know what Matthew chapter 5 verse 15 tells us. Your body was designed to move because movement helps us to burn excess fats and cholesterol for energy. But when we sit for too long, our metabolism does what? It slows down. So our body stores cholesterol instead of using it. So one of the ways to increase our cholesterol, our good cholesterol, is to exercise. And when we exercise, what happens? It cleans up all of the bad cholesterol in our bodies and allows our arteries to be clearer. So let's use another analogy. Think of how a river flows. You know, it stays clear, it stays fresh, and then when it stops moving, it becomes muddy, it becomes stagnant, and then it's filled with debris. It even smells. So your blood works exactly the same way. So when you move, it stays clean, but when you don't, cholesterol and fat settles like sludge in your arteries. So imagine that you are moving your body regularly, every day, 3-4 times a week. That's an act of worship. And if you're taking care of your strength, that's another way to honor God with your body. So what if moving your body every day was an act of worship? If you thought about it like that, would you do it more? What if taking care of your strength was a way to actually honor God, the body that He has given all of us? And sometimes we complicate movements, simple exercises, simple movements like walking, like stretching, like dancing, and even standing. Sometimes for us that work from home, it helps your blood to keep flowing and your cholesterol levels balanced. Another thing that makes our cholesterol high is smoking and alcohol. They are the silent destroyers. So let's talk about how smoking damages our bodies and increases our cholesterol. We know that smoking damages the inner lining of those blood vessels that we've been talking about today, which makes it easier for the low-density lipoprotein, the bad cholesterol, to stick to the walls of our arteries and form plaques. What about alcohol? Alcohol destroys your liver function, it increases fat storage, and it allows cholesterol to become higher in your blood. Let's use another analogy. So imagine that your blood vessels are like smooth roads. When you smoke, it's like saying and setting like fire to your pavements. Imagine that. Cracks begin to appear. It makes it easy for dirt and debris to collect in your arteries. That's exactly what happens to our arteries when cholesterol starts to stick to damaged artery walls because of smoking and alcohol. We're going to use another analogy. Imagine pouring poison into a well every single day. At first, the water still looks clear, but over time, what do you think would have happened? The toxins would have built up, and one day, that water will become dark and undrinkable. You know, many people say, just a little won't hurt. It's just a little meat pie. It's just a little, French fries. But the little we ignore today often becomes the big crisis we face tomorrow. Quitting smoking will help you restore your artery walls, your artery health within weeks. So drinking in moderation or not at all will prevent fat building up in your liver and keeping your cholesterol levels in check. The fourth reason why our cholesterol levels are high is excessive weight. We all remember that our body is the temple of the Lord. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19 tells us that. But when we overload it, what happens? The foundation begins to crack. So remember that this isn't about shame. This isn't about your size. This is about your health. This is about your energy levels, your freedom. Your body wants to heal, but it also needs your help. You know the extra weight that you carry. It forces your liver to make more low-density lipoprotein cholesterol to deal with the inflammation and the fat storage that is already existing in your body. But it also lowers your good cholesterol, and that's what we do not want. And this reduces your body's ability to remove the bad cholesterol from the blood. So more belly fat is going to equate to more cholesterol. And we know what that is. It's building up in our arteries. Let's use another analogy. Your body is like a bridge, and it's designed to carry a certain amount of weight. Imagine overloading that bridge. What do you think is going to happen? The support beam starts to crack under pressure. Over time, that bridge is going to topple over. It would weaken, it would collapse. That's exactly what excess weight does to our arteries. Do you know that if you lose 5 to 10% of your body weight, your low density lipoprotein, your bad cholesterol will go down, your good cholesterol will go up, and you have the biggest chance of reducing the risk of your heart disease. Another reason why you have high cholesterol is because of your genetics. And sometimes that's not our own making. When we find ourselves in certain situations, we also have to use wisdom. And it is this wisdom that would help us to heal. We all know that yes, genetics play a role. Sometimes we have high cholesterol because of our genetics. But that should not write your final chapter in your health story. We may be born with risk factors, we may be born with different things that puts us at risk. But wisdom, discipline, and faith can still help us to heal. Some people inherit genes that cause their liver to make too much cholesterol, even if they eat well, even if they exercise, even if they look slim. And we call this familial hypercholesterolemia. And it affects millions of people worldwide. So this isn't because they're eating potato chips or fried chips or they're using bad oils. It is just because of their genetics. So even though your genetics cannot be changed, lifestyle and medication can keep those cholesterol levels under control. Another analogy. So imagine that some people are born into storms that they didn't create. Nobody chooses, the family that they come from. But a wise person builds a strong house so that the storm doesn't destroy them. And that's why I'm appealing to you today to get tested. Because if high cholesterol runs in your family, Lifestyle choices still make a huge difference, even with people with genetic cholesterol issues. They can lower their cholesterol levels, lower their risk with healthy choices and habits. In some cases, medication like statins may be needed. Remember that your health is in your own hands, and that's why I'm here to help. And it's never too late to change the course of your life. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 3 tells us that a wise man sees danger and takes refuge, but the fool keeps going and then they suffer for it. Cholesterol doesn't get high overnight. It happens by choice. Every choice you make day by day, what you put in your mouth, how you choose to move. But the good news is that means that you also have the power to turn things around, choice by choice, day by day. You have a choice today. You can keep walking down the same road, ignoring all of the warning signs, pretending that you don't see the damage, or you can turn around. Remember that the wise person takes action before disaster strikes, but the fool waits until it's too late. I believe very strongly that God gives us the ability to choose, to see danger, to change our habits, to seek wisdom, and that's why I'm here to help you choose wisely with the right information. So which of these areas that we've talked about today do you struggle with the most? Is it your food? Is it your movement? Is it smoking alcohol? Is it genetics? Drop a comment below and let me know. I want to help you make that change. No matter where you are in your health journey, it's never too late to turn things around. One small change today can lead to a lifetime of better health. And it's not just health for yourself. It's health for your children, health for your whole generation. I'll be here to guide you. And if you're ready to take control of your health, make sure you follow for more. Thank you for listening.